I should let you know that the hacking didn't just start, and it wasn't just a once and done type of situation. It was all throughout my life. These people took the information by hacking me. You know, they literally stole like my whole journal, as mentioned before in some of my work, and it was literally a lot of time and energy. Again, it's about not only energy harvesting, but stealing away the journal that I literally was preparing for court's evidence, for evidence for myself, for literally just trying to figure out at the time where was this coming from? How was it that I wasn't able to figure out where it was all coming from and why it just felt too close to home at that time. So that's the same reason why I believe right after that my brother was suggesting I could stay with him and get a different job and work from there and just get a new place. That wasn't the goal he had in mind. But the goal that they had in mind was legitimately taking away my likeness, name, and image in a different way than is being taken on YouTube, because I was not on YouTube at the time. And it was literally to steal away my likeness from his own children and from anybody that could have been seeing him for performing a crime against me of this magnitude and for this length of time. So they wanted me in a 72-hour hold, paint up my character. So that's why I was poisoned up even before going in there. There was no intention ever of getting that $3,000 back from my work hours from One Best Care. That information was shoved back into the bag and put in the top of the closet, the pantry closet. And it just seemed to me, by my finding it and having to look for it in that sentiment, that it was just to take it away from me as far as not allowing me to suggest that I had right to fight for my work hours and the time and energy that I spent into my work, to then not allow me to get that money at the same time as having more initiatives of them to suggest to others that basically I'm just nosediving my own life into the ground when it's literally, and it has been them the whole entire time. So I didn't see all of that at that point. But this story, this journal that was stolen, it mentioned every single situation from my being a kid up to the point where I was at there living in Mounds View, determining the evils that were present in my life. And I was determining on whether or not they were gang stalking, like a creation by somebody doing it to me, or whether or not it was just an evil that was in my life. And in most cases, it was legitimately this gang stalking, all the way dating back to when I was a child. And I could explain it. I could literally figure out like how that would be so and why it would even be so. Like the where, the what, the why, and the when. And then also giving an explanation as to what it did in my life and giving the explanation of like why these people performing this crime would want to do that for me, do that to me. So, for obvious reasons of the why to me now is so that they could deflect and minimize from the fact that they had been poisoning me. They had been poisoning me relentlessly. My dad poisoned me. And then growing up, it's just, even if you had you had the little comeback from that time period at each and every single time to even have questions of their contents of character, how they wanted to move, what they did to Stan, like having too many questions of their contents of character eventually began to be for me that I just wanted to get away from them altogether. Like I didn't want to hang out with Kenny and Jeff because Kenny and Jeff were just not right by my standards as far as an equitable life and creating an equitable life together. And I was accurate at 15, wanting to run away from home. And so, being that they poisoned me up again, and before my able to figure it all out, it literally took control of my life, not just my mind and my availability of reasoning through things to a normal way, like I have more of today. But now that I do, that's why they're creating a criminal out of me and then obstructing me from even trying to get to the courts. So I literally think that it's obstruction all the way to and through. Obstruction of justice, obstruction of jobs, obstruction of my mental health, and obstruction of my finances. Just literally sabotaging my life, sabotaging my character, and painting up a good scene in order to suggest that they aren't doing anything wrong. No, it's the fact that they are. And as soon as I've had questions before, they'd have verifiable control through pattern recognition of them doing these crimes to me. So now, when I literally had to get away from the syndicate of thinking that I had a friend that I cared about that just did not have any care for me whatsoever, and that I had a girlfriend once again that was the same type of narcissism that I could see in Emily and others throughout my history. So now I'm like, okay, recognizing the play that these people are just, they're vicariously the same garbage, the same demon, I would say, through one person to the next. I could literally vicariously start reading people's reactions and words and everything through each other, having not only being talking and exchanging what they're hacking of my life to work up this mission, to literally steal my identity and have a return of investment that's just literally like not even worth all of the time that they've taken in to try and take me out. But as far as Kenny's concerned, he just wanted me dead. As far as Jeff's concerned, they just wanted me dead and needed me dead. And the reason they needed me dead is because of the truth that not only I carry, but the truth that I am when I'm presenting for a very dangerous position for themselves, because I don't think that they could handle all of the things that they put me through. I don't even think that they could handle 25% of what they put me through. And I think it's weak. I think it's really weak what these people did. And they know it. So they wanted to control me where it's like more than 40 times or so that I could have died before even figuring it out. They placed me in ways where when I was 7, I could have died at 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I respect the courts that recognize verifiable facts, but as for the evidence, they know what they stole from me. They stole that evidence from me, like right out of the evidence locker. And as far as the evidence is concerned as well, I gave them proof, and then they're acting like spoofs, not even allowing what I'm saying happening right into the paperwork for the courts, for the attorney. And so I'm trying to get a hold of my attorney and literally figure out like what they're exactly going to do. And if that's not the case to where I have anybody's support in that fashion, then I believe that these people are within the bar association that are literally just trying to work me over into the same ways that they did when I was blindsided by the courts before, getting me and my person and my energy trafficked all up in order to suggest that I'm the criminal when there's no victim. There's no victim. And then they wanted to turn me, the victim, into the aggressor, the perpetrator, where I believe, personally, that a person being poisoned who does not have their fullest control over their nature, and it's happening to them unwittingly while these people are administering poisons in my reality and literally working my reality out of being able to have a natural development or a growth inside of my life. Like, I would like to grow with people in an equitable fashion. And that's one of the biggest things and reasons within my relationship that I was done. When I said I'm done, I was done. Because you're obviously not trying to grow with me. And as far as like Emily, for an example, just using it as an example, suggesting that she's going to throw herself down the stairs and blame me all because I wanted to put my name on a lease of a car that I've been paying for. Like, really? I'm just supposed to tolerate that and think like I'm just going to be okay to continue to pay? Like, I don't see what the big deal is. We could go down to a notary and literally get it transferred into my name and stamped. That's all it is. In a relationship, I'm saying. That's literally all it is. Like, what, 25 minutes later, everything's fine. You know? But the goal there of hers was not only like to use my time and energy for a love life and to be that future faking, the next future faking person inside of my life that could do this to me, but it's as well to steal up the time and energy from just the payments that I'm making on something that's supposed to be helping me in my life, move forward in my life. So I don't believe that these people have the right to even do that. That's my time and energy for an organic love life. You don't get to just play with someone's life. Like I'm not a playground. I'm not a slide and a swing. I'm a person. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even allowing me to an organic relationship. The problems that were brought up in a relationship should be organic, and if you break up with a person, they should be organic, out of nature, your nature or theirs, to decide we're done here. I'm moving my separate way, and it should be an easier thing than suggesting they're gonna throw themselves down the stairs and blame me, call the cops and blame me for something that they're doing. It's the same thing. It's literally trying to traffic me in a way that would be utilizing the police yet again to do a crime, to perform the crime. So I hightailed it out there. Like, no one's gonna stay in that kind of energy, in that kind of environment. And if they are, they're gonna be used. You're gonna end up in a bad way, and it's not gonna be very, very good. You know, it's not gonna be very good for you. These people don't want you to have a quality of life, and they're literally stealing it away from you, while at the same time setting you up. So it's entrapment, and through the poisoning and getting you all lost off, it's entrainment, because they want to basically get you used to the abuse that you're enduring, to make that abuse that you're enduring look like it's all your fault, like you're the common denominator, because they need you to look like the common denominator in order to suggest that you're not a loving person. You're not available to yourself. You're unwell. You're mentally unsound. You know what I'm saying? When it's literally all these people that are, they owe me more than I think that they could all pay me for. All combined. All of them together. They owe me way more than they could ever pay me for. As far as, you know, the RICO complaint of them racketeering, and it is racketeering because there's exchange of pay behind the scenes. Like, I know my last girlfriend got paid. I know she was paid and manipulated to work this way, and others. So it's gang stalking. And I believe it should be a terminology that's used in courts. I don't believe it has to be organized crime and, civil conspiracy. I believe it's both of those things, but it's gang stalking because what do you call it then when it's literally, the people that are within the government and people that are police and people that are child protective services and agents. What do you call it then when these people are all in cahoots with that same criminal cabal that's that's alienating you from justice? Specifically, there's no, like I said, there's no victim, but literally allowing the victimization of me being a child, for crying out loud, coming from my dad, and my sister being a victim, physical assault, sexual assault, rape. This man should be charged. That's what I think. And they're not trying to charge the right people, you see. So they're trying to perform in order to do this Darvo even within the system. Deny you and attack you, which they've done with they're trying to traffic my person now. And then they're suggesting that I don't have the right to my own time and energy and autonomy to be able to go to work, even to like try and work off their crimes over me. Yet again, same scenario, just different scene in my life as before. And then reversing the victim and offender. Okay, well, who's the victim? My dad suggesting that he's not a piece, like literally they're suggesting that he's not a piece of shit, that I wouldn't deserve to like come out of a long-standing poisoning of that type, arsenic poisoning, being hacked, having my life hijacked by these men in order to hack me and have more access and data on me, and then legit having like everything they need of my identity to do an identity transfer even after I'm dead. Not like legally or anything, but like legitimately, no one's going to question the brother coming in and taking all of their stuff. No one's going to question them like taking over the house, fixing it up and selling it. No one's going to question the life insurance policy money that would have been taken out in my name. No one would question any part of the crime. The only piece that they needed left was me dead, and it's why, legitimately, at Daddy Murden, the channel literally seems like the troll of my brother. And he didn't get as bad as he got being that troll until his wife left him. I hope his wife does leave him. He's a piece of shit. He doesn't deserve anyone's fucking help. Not after this fucking heavy of a crime. When they could have chosen to move differently. Same thing with my other brother. He doesn't deserve Stephanie. He doesn't even, like, his kids should, like, literally think about how to get away and live their own lives. I don't care what age they are at right now. Because these people And I don't, if you want to side with him and you want to suggest that my father didn't do this and these people didn't act this way, then fine. Like, you're wrong, but I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just telling you my story. And what I personally think is that I don't want to be around these people. Never again. Don't care. Fucking hang me up on the cross. Really, I don't care anymore. These people, what they've been doing is legitimately working to create these advancements over me, to reverse the order of what they are. It's called projection from narcissistic control, very covert, malignant narcissism, and the fact that it's sociopathic because they enjoy it. Where I'm glad they chose Aurelia for the last person because she was the only one that didn't have that same heart involved in their crimes. And I could see clear through it. It really sucks and it really hurts because they literally took someone that I loved and they fucked her whole entire life up, her whole entire mind, her whole entire heart. I mean, granted, a person's heart's gotta be pretty fucking bad off to like literally do that. But I think she started to see through it and just didn't know how to get out. She just wanted to feel like she belonged. And because she, prior to them days, belonged to something bad in that kind of way, even if you want to get away, it's just like these Freemasons that are literally having to come forward to admit whether or not they're part of this group or not. And then they're like literally suggesting that they have like religious rights, like religious privacy rights, when they literally are the worst infiltrators in the whole entire human race. You don't get to live in that kind of disingenuous way and just skate by. You don't. So as far as the quality of life that I could have ever have had to live, where I could have had something of myself to compare myself to at 3, 5, 7, 9, 13, from where I was born and what I was born into, it's like they're literally utilizing this as though it was just started with me, and that this started with me, but it's wrong. It all started with them performing against me. And they felt my light. They felt I didn't want to be anything like them. So, in the demonology there, the demonology that's presenting itself there is to turn you into their demons. But that's not demons. That's legitimately you being cursed with what they are doing to you. They don't want you to climb up that ladder or get up that hill away from them. So they're going to do everything they can to play king of the hill, basically, with your life. Not like as a, playground sport over a pile of snow, a hill, or whatever. However, these kids play king of the hill. And so it's literally that in that way that they've treated me my whole entire life. They wanted to take and drag me down into the mud when they just wanted to get away from what they had been. And in order to do so, they literally needed me face down in that mud. And so that's why I tell these people to go kick rocks and to go stare at some gravel, go lick some pebbles. Because these people are just window licking fucking weirdos, man. You ask me. I don't understand what they learned in school in any kind of moral aptitude when they literally moved this way. And they could play up a good show when I was poisoned up, and I'd be poisoned up at Christmas for crying out loud. And they would utilize this situation to say the same thing that he said in Brooklyn Park as he did in, where were we? In Lakeville and my other brothers. He'd said the same line. He literally used the same line. It was always, you should see how Matt fights. He fights real dirty. Literally, like, trying to not only psychologically be impressive that he has the rights to do this to me, but to literally psychologically train and entrain his own family as to like how he's willing to treat me, that you should just be okay with it because it's to paint a picture, it's to paint a scene, it's to paint my character. Or what I felt at that time, that second time, was he's literally trying to goad me on, get me to like lunge at him right on Christmas to establish for no value whatsoever that could ever be created again. See what I'm saying? Like no Christmas is going to ever be the same. And it didn't even need that obviously now, but you see what I'm getting at. It's literally poisoning you, getting you to where you can't vocalize or like even articulate how you would say what was that? What was that? What did you guys do to me? Would it just be denial? Just like everything else. But the fact that I'm getting at is here in the end getting away from these people, then they all play the discard. Because they don't want to be called out for who the fuck they have been. And that's the literal wrong that they've been. And so I'm exposing their crimes because I don't believe that anybody should be played up like they are somebody's playground all over their whole entire life to play me up this way and then just go skate by it. Like no, you should have your whole world turned upside down now. Because you fucking turned my life upside down since I was a baby. Since I was a toddler. And onward. Throughout my whole entire life. And so they can't even handle it for a little 1% of what they've given me. And they can't. They verifiably can't. Because look at how they move. They don't have any. That's legitimately where they decide that their supposed help is over. Is you literally figuring them out and calling them out for the bitches that they are. You call them out for the bitches that they are, and now all of their help is withdrawn because they never had it in themselves to actually want to help you at all. It was all entrainment to keep you well within proximity of their proxy warfare against you. So they need to be exposed for their crimes and have their whole worlds turned upside down. So yes, let's get more verifiable here for the courts and even regular people to understand regular human words. You don't need no Black's Law dictionary. You can take your Latin and burn it for all I care. People understand words if they want to understand words. And if they don't want to mince words with people, much like these people wouldn't, well, I think that's highly determining the crime here. 'Cause they're trying to desperately move in any which way but loose, front right, and front left and center to prevent me from getting any of it out here at all to the public, which is why they're trying to troll me, steal my name, likeness, and image in order to even have channels imitating me with AI saying the exact opposite of what I'm saying, making the reversal of the scenario, making it my mom and not my dad. Like, these people are really fucked up in their minds. They're really super fucked up in their minds. And anybody who is anybody can see it. So that's my piece. That's my truth. Love you guys. Hope you guys support me in my efforts here to get this heavy, heavy crime out, and so that I could hopefully get some influence added to my life and actually live.